friends, it's Amanda here, and today I want to tell you about my top 10 favorite base products for dry skin. I would say the top 10 foundations. I might still title this video that way, but I do also have some skin tints and tinted moisturizer type products in this video. Many moons ago, I want to say like 6+ years ago, I did a best products for dry skin series here on my channel. A lot of things have changed in those 6 years. I'm sure that you could say the same for yourself. I have developed some more skin concerns in that period of time. I have more texture, more fine lines. I also have developed more redness and sensitivity over the past, I would say, even just couple of years. Besides skin changes, I've also had changes in preferences, and I'm sure a good chunk of the products that I mentioned in that older series are no longer available. So I wanted to make an updated version now. I have a wide variety of different types of products here. My hope is that you'll be able to find something that's right for you. Some of these things are drugstore, some are more high end. There's a wide price range here. And there's also some differences in finish and coverage. Some have SPF, some don't. So just a whole variety of different products here, but the one thing they have in common is they're all my favorites. Probably none of these will be a surprise if you watch my channel frequently because they are things that I have mentioned and used and loved over and over again. There's no real ranking here. I think these are all equally good just for different uses. I don't like to wear a medium to high coverage product for every day. I prefer something that is a little bit lighter, more of a skin tint or tinted moisturizer. But sometimes a girl has an event or you just want to get glammed up. And for those occasions, I like something that is more high coverage. Can't necessarily rank them because they're all the best for different reasons. So let's dive into my top 10 foundations and skin tints for dry skin. I didn't want this video to just be me holding up 10 different products and saying, I like this, it looks good on my skin. I like this, it's light coverage. I like this, it's medium coverage, whatever. I really want to give you some deep info about these products because my hope is that you'll be able to make a well-informed choice based on this info if you are in the market for a new skin base product. So I'm going to show you close-ups of the packaging. I'm going to show you a close-up of the shade that I use, and I'll also list that information in the description box. I'm going to show you what the dispenser looks like, and of course I'll also show you this being blended onto my skin in real time. You'll notice when you see the packaging close-up that I'm listing a whole bunch of information, including the shade range, the average price, whether it has fragrance, SPF, and then also the finish and the coverage. I tried to pull that information directly from the brand's website so that it would be as accurate as possible. And I am listing these in order of coverage lightest to fullest. There is one single foundation that I disagree with the information that's given on the actual brand site. You'll see that one later. They call it full coverage. I think that it's more medium coverage. Certainly it is buildable, but I just feel like that's the only one that's not necessarily representative. So I took a little bit of my own leeway there, but hey, this is my video, so that's just how it's gonna go. I included this specific information because it's what I pay attention to the most when I'm shopping for a new foundation or a skin tint, and it's definitely the type of information that I focus on when I'm reviewing. I also want to mention that the majority of these items are considered cruelty-free. I didn't list that just because I think that the folks that are shopping specifically for cruelty-free products already know which brands are safe for them or not. But I think that there's just two drugstore items that may not be considered cruelty-free. But in general,
most of these items will be considered cruelty free. A lot of them I think are also vegan. And I feel like my cruelty free and vegan friends out there really have a handle on which brands are safe for them to use. I didn't include that because that's not something I typically heavily focus on. I personally am not a cruelty free or vegan specifically reviewer. But if you have any questions about any of these items or you're having trouble finding that information about a specific one of these items or brands, let me know in the comments. I'll do my best to help you get that information as accurately as possible. And even though those aren't criteria for me, that's not the top priority for me personally as a purchaser, as a makeup reviewer. My top priority is helping you find information that is helpful to you and hopefully providing that information for you. So I am happy to help if I can. I also want to mention that I have specifically reviewed a lot of these products. So if you want to see dedicated reviews, wear tests, or even just an application demo with any of these on my face, I'm going to link any videos that I can find that are relevant in the description box. That way, if one of these piques your interest, then you can find some more information and see that specific product actually in action and hear some more of my in-depth experience with it. I do want to take a moment to point out that some of the information that I put up on the screen here, where I list shades, price, all that stuff, it may vary a little bit depending on which retailer you shop from. And also, this is going to vary a lot depending on what country you're in. I don't really have access to know what's available in which country, when, where, and prices and all that. Even just a straight conversion isn't really an accurate way to tell you what the price would be because I know a lot of brands charge more. For example, if you did a conversion from $15 US to Australian, it still would probably be more expensive in Australia. So I can't give all of that information possibly ever be accurate to every person. I'm just going off of the best that I can find. So, my apologies if you do see some discrepancies here and there. Even my US viewers may notice something like that. For example, this L'Oreal True Match Nude is retail priced at like 20 bucks at Ulta, but it's only 15 and change at Target. So there is definitely some wiggle room for this information. I want to start talking specifically about some of the products now because this It Cosmetics CC Plus Nude Glow is a very interesting case. First of all, it's the first fragranced product that we're seeing today, and it's one of only two that I'm mentioning. This has a really light citrusy type of scent, pretty common in It Cosmetics products in my experience. And the reason why I wanted to really talk about this one is because I use the shade Fair Light, and I've used the It Cosmetics Bye Bye foundation for many, many years. It's been a favorite of mine, and I've always used the shade Fair Light. So when the CC Plus Nude Glow came out, of course, I ordered my usual shade, Fair Light, and I think you could tell just looking here on my arm, it's not very fair light. It's more of a light medium on me anyway. And it's because it is not a super full coverage product, it's workable for me. I do tend to mix it with something lighter. I really like to mix it with my favorite It Cosmetics Bye Bye foundation, which is actually a full coverage moisturizer. But as you can see, this one's also the shade Fair Light. And when you see them swatched side by side, the shade difference is pretty wild, pretty noticeable. So if you, like me, already know your usual It Cosmetics CC cream shade, may want to go a little bit lighter on the CC Plus Nude Glow, but I love the finish of it, and it's fine for me in the summertime when my body is more tan. My face looks fine with this shade, but in the wintertime, I definitely need to mix it. I also like to mix it with that very first one I showed you, the LA Girl one, because that one's a little bit light for me. So sometimes you have to do a little makeup alchemy. I also want to point out that this Urban Decay Hydromaniac tinted hydrator now has a slightly different packaging. I actually ended up purchasing one of these and then Urban Decay sent me one in PR. So I still have the old packaging because I haven't gone through two yet. But the cap is a different color now. It's not gold anymore. It's this turquoisey blue color. Just FYI, if you are like, why does this look different than your video? They somehow sometime changed the cap color between when I purchased slash received mine and now. I tend to prefer things in this squeezy tube type of packaging. I just think that they store well, they're lighter, they travel well. I do tend to travel quite a bit. I tend to take my makeup in the car quite a bit. I am an over preparer, overpacker, so I like this type of packaging specifically for this reason. I would say packaging wise, my least favorites are the droppers and the doe foot applicators, the big ones, which you're about to see one of those. They're fine, and it's definitely not a deal breaker, especially when it comes to a formula that I really, really like and I have a good shade match and the price is right or whatever it may be. But I do prefer the squeezy tube packaging, and then second place is probably just a regular traditional pump style. This About Face, the Performer foundation, does have that big giant doe foot, the, tart shape tape style, big, huge doe foot. And the reason why I don't like that is twofold. First of all, it has a stopper on top to keep the product from leaking out with this doe foot style applicator. And that stopper has to be really tight so that none of the product and, the oils and all of that stuff can leak out. So I always struggle to remove the wand without flinging foundation everywhere. And sometimes they loosen up, but typically it just continues to be a small annoyance that flings foundation around. And I also just never quite feel like it's wonderfully sanitary to keep swiping that all over my face and sticking it back in the bottle. And I don't know, something about that. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure they've done their research and made their product accordingly, but it always just feels a little bit like not my favorite part of the routine. Obviously, it's still in my top 10. It's not a deal breaker by any means, like I said, but it's just something that I notice. If that was a bigger concern for you, whether you're a makeup artist or you're, doing makeup on somebody else or you have a lot of sensitivity, acne, that type of stuff, then you can always just use a little makeup palette, like a little metal or plastic palette, not like an eyeshadow palette, but like an artist palette. And you could apply the foundation onto the palette and then use your brush or your sponge or your fingers from there. That is definitely an option. I am just too deep in my lazy girl lifestyle to add another thing to clean, which I guess means that I can't really complain about using the doe foot. But I just wanted to put that idea out there if you are less of a lazy person than me, or if that is a really, really big concern for you, you do have that option that doesn't completely have to rule out this product for you necessarily. I love how I can definitely be such a lazy girl in some areas of my life, but I will not even bat an eye at spending like 3 work days making a video like this. I guess it's not necessarily lazy, it's just a different set of priorities. That's probably a nicer self talk for me. I'm gonna work on that. Anyway, we're not here for a therapy session. We're here to talk about foundation. What you're seeing now is one of my all-time like OG traditional foundations. I've really loved this one for a long time. This is probably my most repurchased foundation of all time. This one, the It Cosmetics Bye Bye Foundation, and maybe 2 or 3 others in my life that have been more than one repurchase, so I think that really says something about this Colourpop Pretty Fresh foundation. The next one we're gonna look at is the one that claims to be full coverage, but in my opinion, it's more of a medium coverage. I do think it's buildable up to full, but if something says full coverage on the bottle like this, just full blast, that idea, I think that is more of a on initial application, at least implied to me. Like one coat is going to be full coverage if you put full coverage on the bottle like this. But I could just be having unrealistic expectations there, so maybe that's on me, but this is definitely more of a medium coverage in my opinion. And this is the other fragranced foundation. I wanted to make sure I mentioned that because I know that a lot of people are sensitive to fragrance in their makeup or just really, really don't like it. While the It Cosmetics one has a light citrus scent, this really has that like perfumey, makeup-y scent to it. I've noticed that it's either the drugstore foundation that costs $5 or like the bougiest Givenchy like $60 foundation that have the exact same smell. You know what I'm talking about, that perfume makeup smell. This Rimmel London one has the same as that Givenchy one that I reviewed. I think was that last summer? So, just throwing that out there. Now we're closing in on the final product I'm mentioning. This is the only really full coverage, in my opinion, product that I'm recommending. And when I have an event, if I'm going to be taking photos, this is what I'm reaching for. I sometimes have to go to really, truly formal events, like ball level events for my spouse's job. And 9 times out of 10, this is what I wear because I know that it's going to look good all night. I know that I don't have to worry about touching it up. And I know that it photographs really, really well. It makes my skin look incredibly flawless, but I still look natural. And because it has that dewy finish, it tends to play well with concealers. I can easily powder it if I'm worried about smudging or longevity, but I typically really don't need to do much powdering. It just looks hydrated and very youthful glow type of dewy finish without feeling like it's gonna slide right off my face. And this coverage is legit. I hope I explained and displayed everything well for you. I always feel like I go on so many random rambly tangents whenever I'm doing these really long voiceover segments, so sorry if that is the case. But please, if you have any questions or want clarification on anything, just let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to try to help out there. And there may be another commenter who has some info to add too, so I really appreciate everybody doing that. You're so cool.
I hope that you found this list helpful, especially if you're looking for your next favorite base product. I would love to continue this series if it's something that is interesting and helpful for you. I can talk about primers, sunscreens, concealers, powders. I also want to hear what your favorite base products are. Even if you don't have dry skin, just tell us your skin type and what your favorite foundations or tinted moisturizers are. I am constantly trying things on your recommendations, and I have found some of my favorite things that way. So I genuinely appreciate everybody who takes the time to leave a little comment, leave a suggestion. Honestly, anybody who just watches all the way to the end of the video, I really appreciate that too. I always love to hear what you think about things too. So make sure you leave all your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Ugh. I was talking to myself when I made that noise of frustration, not you. It's me. Okay? It's not you. Let's try that again. What? What? Get to the point. Was that annoying? I think I'm developing a complex where I think I'm more annoying than I am because I live with a 9-year-old who roasts me constantly and I'm his mom, so he thinks I'm just like the weirdest person ever. Maybe I am. I don't think so, though. He hasn't seen the internet things I've seen. I'm definitely not the weirdest. Definitely not. Um, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Hey. Still pretty weird, though. Okay. Huh? What? Never mind. I forget what I was talking about. I might need some caffeine. Got that afternoon slump going on, you know what I mean? Is it fall? Have you seen that girl that's like, "It's always Halloween in my soul"? We quote that a lot in my household because I have an obsession with pumpkins. So my house is year-round filled with a lot of different, like, pumpkin shaped things and pumpkin smelling things, and I love fall. I love fall colors. I love fall leaves. I have a huge painting that I did in my dining room that's like fall trees. I love fall. I don't care if it's basic. It's who I am. And I already have a bunch of my fall stuff in my Etsy shop. Not all of it. It's just the restock of stuff from last year, but all the new designs are going to be out on August 1st, which I don't know when this video is going up, but it'll be before then. Oh boy, I got a lot of work to do. I'm excited about it though. I like being busy. I thrive on projects. I'm sure that's probably obvious by the sheer number of projects and businesses and social media platforms that I run. And I also do a bunch of creative projects that I never put online because they're just like my personal projects. I would say I'm a do it all Renaissance woman, but I think that I'm giving myself too much credit. I think I'm an overachieving oldest child who uses making things as an escape from reality. And I don't think I should be faulted for that. Have you seen reality? Yikes. I'm fine. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna go have some caffeine and edit these videos. And I've been posting a lot of like YouTube shorts, and I've been posting more on TikTok. I abandoned my TikTok for like a year, but I've been putting some little short videos over there. And I just always try. I like to try new things, and I like to make things. Anyway, I don't know. TikTok kind of stresses me out, but I like making the videos. So I don't really know how to resolve that. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. If you watched this rambling to the end, then I appreciate you. That was really nice of you. Everybody needs a friend who will listen to them ramble, and you're that friend. And I'm thankful for that. I hope you have a great day because you deserve it, because you are a shiny little star. You're a shining star. And I will see you in my next video. Love your face. Bye.